Hey, welcome back to A Faster Me. This is day 3, Valley of the Sun crit race. If you've been watching the videos, you already know I had some health issues coming into this, so I'm not feeling so great. But I thought I'd give it a go, try to get a good start, run up front here. Unfortunately, I had some more AFib issues earlier in the day, so I ended up taking some meds, and those meds do not allow my heart to raise. So yeah, I'm stuck with the super low heart rate, which obviously I need my heart to rise and pump some blood. The stat you see on the screen says 104, but I think it's actually a little bit higher than that. I remember when I was actually racing, I saw it around 120 something, 130. I think it got to like 136 when it should be up into the 170s. So anyway, it was going to be a struggle for me. Doing pretty good right now, though. I did what I wanted to get a start up front, and then just see if I can try to sit in, take advantage of the draft, and see how long I can hang in the pack. So it's a pretty nice course. I love it. Honestly, I can't wait to be back next year. It starts off pretty hot, though. The pace was really good. Yeah, if you can see, the video is only a short video, and most of you know I don't shorten the video. So you can see this is a big effort here we're putting in. I was up to 500, 600 watts, something like that. So I'm just surfing wheels. I didn't really want to put in that big of a chase, but I just skipped over to another wheel, and I'm still sitting pretty, maybe 7/8 position, something like that. But yeah, they're on it. They're on the gas, and I don't think they're really trying to get away, but I think whoever's on the front just wants to make it hard for people, which is what you do. You make it hard, stretch it out, and you can catch some people out with cold legs, and just thin the field out a little bit. So for me, I just want the free ride. It's all free ride for me right now because I don't know how long my body's gonna last, all that kind of stuff. So as you know, with crit racing, you really got to weather the storm the first so many laps, and then it kind of settles in. And this race is basically no different. Again, I've been going hard on the front for a little while, and I'm not in great shape or anything. So purposely, I kind of sit back here, let some people go by, and I want to jump on a wheel. So now I probably jump back to about, I don't know, I'm probably in maybe 12th position now or something. And now I'm looking for a place to slot back in. I didn't want to drop back too far, but I definitely didn't want to be right on the front trying to cover moves. So here, later in the race, right there's an incident that happens that kind of ends my race. I'll call it out when it comes up to it, but like I said, it's a hard effort the first couple laps, but almost all crit races usually settle in after about the first 3-4 laps. You get the flow of the course. Everyone else kind of gets the flow of the course, and then the race just kind of finds its groove. And I don't think this one was any different. The only thing that is, though, my fitness is low, and I've having some health issues, and I get bumped a couple times in this race, both from my right side, and both times riders apologize. But unfortunately, the second time I get bumped, I get my derailleur hit almost high side, and my bike stops shifting. So you'll see it when it comes up. Like, you'll see my head like shake like crazy, go to the sky, and that's me almost high siding. I saved the high side, but my derailleur wouldn't shift anymore. So, and then once I got it to shift again, I was then falling back, and by the time I got it to shift again, after I run over bumps, which there's a number of bumps on this circuit, it would knock my gearing out again. So I end up pulling in after about 5-6 laps or something. So as you can see how it's bunching up now, that just means, like I said, the race is going to settle a little bit. There's always going to be surges and attacks and crits, but it's going to settle a little bit. As you can see here, like, there's so many turns. I forgot how many turns there are. Let me see. There's I don't know, maybe it's a 6-turn, 8-turn crit. I don't remember, but either way it goes, when you have so many turns, there's going to be a lot of stop and start. a lot of surging, a lot of shuffling of position. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough race. If you see rider 424 over there, I believe that's him. I think he was sitting pretty high up in the GC for the weekend. And at one point I saw him and I said, oh, I know he's like fourth or fifth position in GC. And I was going to just kind of ride his wheel for a little while and, you know, thinking that he's going to play it fairly safe, but at the same time, he's going to need to move up. And since he's back here with me, I thought like maybe I'd use his energy for a little while. And I can't see him at the moment, but so here too, as you guys can see, like the course is really fast. We're up to 31 miles per hour here on this back stretch. And I think just for the time that I was in the race, I want to say it was about 27 miles per hour. I think I averaged, I don't know what I averaged, 26.5, but I cruised in the last lap because like I said, my shifting was out. I was trying to get my derailleur working again. I couldn't see where, I saw some scrapes on it, but I couldn't see where it was like bent or anything. It just wouldn't shift. And then once I'd get it to shift into a gear, if I hit a bump or something, it would knock it back out of gear. So I ended up having to stop and kind of fix that, but it was too late. And with my fitness, there was no way I could chase back on anyway. Yeah, so here, like I said, the race is starting to settle a little bit. There's always going to be those little surges, and those surges get magnified the further you are back. And, typically it's referred to as the accordion effect. I think we had just under 50 riders in this group. And so it's a decent sized peloton, but it's not really as large as the ones I'm used to. I'm used to, 75 riders, and we're usually capped out here in Southern California. So it's a big field, but it's a little deceptive too for me because I'm used to such a big field. When I'm sitting in this position, I don't realize like I'm at the back of the peloton. I think there's people behind me, and I'm thinking that I'm sitting in like middle of the pack when really I'm near the end of the pack here, end of the group. So that's definitely going to be a lot more surging, and it's not as much protecting either because you need kind of like a wrap around and just sit in the pocket. So really I should be up about another 15 spots or so. And that would have been a little better for me just to, kind of conserve a little energy. I really like the course though. It's really flowing. It's surgy, but it's only because it's really back here. If you're up front and get to pick your own line, it's definitely a lot better. And shout out to the SDBC rider. Unfortunately, I at the moment, I just forgot your name. But yeah, met him. I featured him on one of my other videos from Tour de Marietta a couple years ago, or actually a year ago, where someone, ran into the back of him, and he didn't know it for sure. He thought someone may have bumped him, but the rider almost crashed and ended up saving it. And then we talked about that right before the race. And then, of course, in this race, someone hits me from behind in the same fashion. So, unfortunately, though, I'm not able to shift, so I wasn't able to finish the race or whatever, or to continue on. As you can see here, I'm falling back a little bit, but I'm not in trouble, though. I'm fine. It just depends on like how hard of an effort I want to put. And sometimes I just get caught out a little bit and then accelerate back onto a wheel. Not a big deal at all. And like I said, with the heart rate showing 106, I believe it's probably still closer to like 130 or so. But honestly, my threshold heart rate is around 170. So in this type of effort, I should definitely be in the high 170s or about 180 maybe even. And then I kind of max out at about 188 or so, 190. And then in a sprint, a full-on sprint, I'll usually max out at about 197. So I think right here might be where I get hit from behind on this next right-hand turn. You'll see like the camera will go crazy a little bit. Yep, right there. So right there, someone like hits me from behind, and I remember a rider saying, sorry, I don't know exactly who did it, but I can't shift now. So as you can see, I accelerate up, but I can't shift. So I can't get like any power. I'm trying to hold on and trying to get the gear back here, but as you can see how high my RPMs roll up, and then of course the power dies out, and that's just because I'm in the same gear. I can't shift it to a harder gear, and I definitely need to, if I'm going to go more than 29 miles per hour, I need to be able to shift to a higher gear, and I simply can't. You see it was at 101 RPMs and I was doing 180 watts. Yeah, I can't shift. So I'm looking around now just to see if there's anyone else behind me, because I'm trying to wave my hand, letting them know that I have a problem and I can't shift my bike. So I kind of get it back in maybe right here or so. I kind of get it to click up a gear, and I try to accelerate just to jump back on, which you can see I'm able to accelerate and I can get back on the group. But then I hit that little bump there, and now it won't shift again. So now I'm kind of stuck with just that acceleration, and now the gear, like I can't go any faster or whatever, like it won't shift. So I'm kind of done, and then I'm just like, all right, I'm calling it. There's no way I'm going to chase back on, and I just tell the bike, hey, I'm done. I'm done for the day. So I was thinking about getting a free lap, but they were very clear at the beginning. You can't get a free lap unless you have some type of road rash, dirt, or a completely broken part. And so I was checking my derailleur as you saw me coming up the front, and it was still intact. So that's it. That's all she wrote. See you next time.